This is Good Morning San Diego.
Two teenagers in Chula Vista recently overdosed on fentanyl, with one of them passing away, citing a spike in the growing number of drug-related deaths in San Diego. Parents for Quality Education President Mark Powell says, hey, there's some things we have to do right now to make kids safer at school. He joins us now to discuss the plan. Mr. Powell, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Paul. How are you today?
Why don't you spell out the severity of the problem, and then we'll go from there.
Well, this has been going on for a while. However, COVID-19 and school shutdowns have really put a lot of stress on students. And what we're finding is that they're getting these counterfeit pills or these medications online. They're actually purchasing them through social media. Ironically, it's not some drug dealer waiting in an alley trying to get these students to take these pills. It's actually friends giving, well, I wouldn't call them friends, peers giving their friends or acquaintances these pills. And these pills are laced with a deadly opioid called fentanyl. One pill can kill.
And so the plan is I assume, as I understand the literature here, is a two-prong attack. One, to try to put the kibosh on these counterfeit pills, and then the other is to have drug treatment right on campus as far as dealing with emergency overdoses, right?
That's correct. Now, look, Paul, when we use terms such as a crisis or an epidemic, those are strong words. That means we have a serious problem that's going on right now. I just want to thank also, right now when I can, thank KUSI for bringing this up. We've been doing this for the last 4 years. We started in 2017, 2018 talking about this, and this opioid crisis and epidemic is getting worse. It's not resolving itself. So these two students, these two teenagers in Chula Vista, they overdosed on fentanyl. One was revived by multiple bursts of a substance called Narcan. I'm going to hold it up right here if you can see that. This little drug, this little dispenser and drug, is able to reverse an opioid overdose. So what our plan is, Parents for Quality Education, we've brought this forward to San Diego County Office of Education, San Diego Unified School District. We want to have this made available to parents on campus, and we would like the districts to provide online training for parents so they can pick it up at the school site. In the event, sadly enough, we have to watch out for these things, they have a child or somebody around them experiencing an opioid overdose.
How expensive are those narco pens as far as just having them on every campus in a good supply, so they can be distributed around the campus?
Well, there are government agencies that are giving this away for free. You can apply for it and get it. And look, and in some situations, similar to an automated external defibrillator, you can have these little stations set up with Narcan in them. So if somebody is experiencing an opioid overdose on campus, you break the glass, you take out the Narcan, you take this out, and you can revive the person. You can revive the students. Now, today is the first day of school. We pray that all of these kids go have a successful year. But, Paul, you and I know, we all know, kids do some strange things sometimes. And taking one pill, they think, well, I'm going to take one pill. How can that hurt? Well, one pill literally can kill today, and this stuff is coming over here across the borders all the time, and it's impossible to stop. We just have to use education as our tool.
Well, the Narcan pens, that seems like an easy thing to get put in place. It's dealing with the counterfeit pills. That seems like it's going to be a game of, whack-a-mole. It's just every time you stop one person, it pops up somewhere else.
You're right. So the only way to deal with it is we have to educate our students. We have to tell them that this fentanyl is located in pills, be able to take the pills. They also put it in marijuana. They can also vape it. If you guys remember, a while ago, I brought this in. This is the vape pen. You remember this? Mm-hmm. Where kids are taking these things, and if you pop this open right here, it's actually a vaping device. You can use this to smoke or vape all sorts of drugs. Fentanyl is appearing in vape products. You can smoke it, you can ingest it, you can snort it, you can, some people mix it in their iced tea. But it's such a strong and potent narcotic. Just a little tiny bit, 2 or 3 grains, like 2 or 3 grains of salt, can kill you. That's the low amount of fentanyl. That's how dangerous it is for our students.
Well, I guess the supply is one issue, but if you could kill the demand by educating kids about what you're talking about right now, that would take care of the supply if there's no demand for the drug. But that's also proving to be a difficult obstacle to clear, is it not?
Paul, you're on point. You've got to educate the students, but we have to educate our parents too. When we went to school, what were we? I went to school you and I were about the same age. Went to school in the 70s. We're in high school. We had to deal with marijuana. There were drugs. Believe me, there was heroin. There were drugs out there. They were hard to get. They weren't that accessible. But now these kids through social media have access to tons of stuff. They get it mailed to them. But the good news is there are organizations that will train parents right now, today. A newpath.org offers online training for parents. You can just log into their website, take the online training, and then receive free Narcan. So this is already being done by other organizations. We just need to get the school districts to ramp up. They need to move much faster. This is called a crisis, an epidemic. You can't sit around and wait for teenagers to die. This is exactly what we've been trying to prevent from happening, these opioid overdoses and deaths. And hopefully, by getting this information out to the students and to the parents through school sites, we can prevent future overdoses and future deaths in these young kids.
Mark, thank you very much for your time. How many computer monitors do you have in that room you're in right now?
Well, I have to share it with my kids during the COVID.
Jeez, I was going to say, what are you, fixing computers?
I know.
All right, thanks, Mr. Powell. We'll talk to you later, okay?
You're welcome.